Welcome back. Oh my goodness, it feels good to have an actual setup going on right now. I have been wanting to think about what is went on in my day today cuz oh my goodness, has it been interesting. I was sitting around here about to drive to physical therapy and I'll tell you why in a later date or actually in a second. I might tell you today, but tell me I'm sitting here, I'm driving out of the parking lot, right? And then as soon as I get out of the parking lot, my car just goes and I'm like, "Whoa, hey, I don't remember a car being able to do that, right?" So I'm trying to get out to get into my other lane. And then the car just starts doing that. And mind you, a car is coming this way. So while I'm trying to go that way, it's sitting there stopping. I had to roll it to the side, but that's all a different situation. But whatever. Let me turn this music down, bro. God, I can barely hear myself speak. But yeah, I had to stop the car mid road, had to pull it over so I could what's called get a tow and all that. And it was a mess. Transmission problem apparently. But I ended up getting to physical therapy because I have a condition called Blount's disease. So it's basically it mostly occurs in babies, but on the odd chance it happened to me. So my legs are excessively bowed. So basically it causes a big amount of pain when I do too much walking or running or anything like that. So I had to get a 1 inch incision on both of my knees, and they put a screw in that'll help when I grow. My legs will end up from going like this, they'll straighten up. And yeah, so I don't know. It's been a wild journey having to figure out how to, get around it and all that, but I swear, man, it's just something to think about, isn't it? But yeah, dealing with that has been a weird thing. And for a long time we had no idea what it was. We had always thought it was just me not running enough or not stretching enough, but then we ended up finding out it's a lot more to it than that. So I don't know. I've just been going with the flow and we'll figure out what happens. But regardless of that, let's get into today's video. It's called The Disturbing Reality of Ultra Processed Foods.
You may be eating pre-digested food, and it turns out
Yo,
we're all
whoa.
eating.
If I had happened to find out one day that I was opening up a can of Pringles or whatever, and some random dude named John or whatever just chewed up those Pringles and then spat them out and gave them back to me, I probably would not enjoy that much. like think about it. You're opening a bag of Pringles, you eat them. Pretend me drinking the water was me eating them, and then you poop it out through the toilet, and then they do their factory magic with it, I guess, and then you get it. Wouldn't that be weird? I don't know.
More of it than we think we are.
Ultra-processed foods. They're often cheap and convenient, and Americans, of course, eat a lot of them.
Because here's the thing, ultra-processed food isn't just junk food, it's showing up places you wouldn't expect. It has taken over the grocery store. And I think we all already know that it's unhealthy, addictive, and more.
Eating too many ultra-processed foods could shorten your lifespan.
Raises the risk of diabetes,
heart disease, fatty liver disease,
and depression.
They can cause harm similar to smoking.
Eating them too often could be taking years off your life.
And I agree with that. That's kind of why I went into the what's it called in one of my videos, why is the fad diets and the the healthy food shouldn't be so expensive videos on YouTube. I really went into the fact that we have so much processed food in our stores, and all of the processed food is cheaper and better, or not, it's more expensive, more accessible, so it's easier for people to get their hands on. And I was always thinking that is not something that should be happening, but I don't know. It's because the healthy food costs so much more, to where you buying the healthy food would be almost as if it'd be way too expensive. That's what it is. It'd be too expensive. And then you buying the ultra processed food, you can eat as much of that as you want to. Then you'll notice, oh, I'm not full. And then, oh, it's so cheap. So you would just go get some more. That's the part where it just gets odd, you know?
This article breaks down one of the hidden reasons that ultra-processed food is leading to all these issues. And it's not just calories or sugar or a lack of fiber. Quote, according to emerging science, it may be due to manufacturing processes that pre-digest raw food ingredients. We are eating pre-digested food. The idea of eating pre-digested
So we basically have like straight poop machines in our food making systems. Like it's basically a machine that just goes, let me close this up. It goes and like makes our food. Like in Wall-E, how like they had those like automated foods on their shares, and they just like burgers. Like that. I don't know.
viscerally awful.
Basically the opposite of farm to table.
But you know what? I love reading about how evil the food industry is because it just gives me so much drive and motivation to say, F ultra processed food. Knowing they're making bank, tricking us all into eating something that's terrible for us, it just gives you that little extra fuel to be like, no.
And that's the thing, they want it that way, which is crazy.
UPFs. Not you corn pops, not you pizza pockets, not you ramen, not you boxed chicken nuggets. And I'm sure
now, I don't care how many times it's ultra processed or anything. I will always eat a nice packet of the Maruchan chicken flavored ramen packets. Not the cup noodles or nothing like that, because cup noodles are basically unflavored. Like, I don't understand. But, like, what's y'all's favorite, like, you know, noodle packet? Because mine's is always going to be the chicken flavor because it's just always been the one I've had since I was younger. Beef is all right. Never had shrimp. Now, one that is good is that picante chicken. That little, yeah, the spicy chicken one, that one's actually really good. And then I had like a hot, spicy sriracha one time, and I will never eat that again. It tastes like eating rotten ketchup on top of moist and mushy noodles that is just an unpleasant experience. It tasted like eating, like, spilling out organs and intestines. Like that one scene from Invincible where, like, Conquest just doing that. Like, it's like that, and no, I don't like it at all. It's disgusting to me.
many of you are the same. Like, I just cannot stand being tricked into doing something I know is bad for me. Like, it's just like, no. And hopefully today's video will give you that same vibe. By the way, my behavior change course, How to Change, is launching in March. If you want to learn the skill of change, break bad habits, and improve your relationship with yourself, this course was made for you. Click the link below for more information and get on the pre-launch list. As a thank you, anyone who signs, what is ultra processed food anyway? Well, it may seem obvious when I say it. It comes down to the processing. What does pre-digested mean? To manufacture cheap, delicious food that is packaged for convenience, basic food crops such as corn, wheat, and potatoes are disassembled into their molecular parts. Think about that. Breaking foods down to their molecules, that's where the ultra comes from in ultra processed. And it's this extreme level of food processing, so extreme that these foods are pre-digested, that creates this entire category.
And that's probably why, like, we don't get full from these foods as like a normal foods and healthier foods as we should, because it's like it's already basically broken down. It's not gonna satiate us at all. We're just gonna eat it and then we're gonna want more and more and more and more and more. And it's just like what I heard in the game once, they're gonna find another way to satisfy their wages just to, you know, make their paychecks bigger or whatever. Like, real gamers will get that reference. Oh,
To
shoot,
explain the
didn't even know
point
I
in a more
watched it.
tangible way, let's think about the difference between an apple and an apple pie, but from McDonald's. Researchers split food into 4 groups depending on their level of processing. 1. Unprocessed or minimally processed foods. 2. Processed culinary ingredients. 3. Processed foods. And 4. Ultra processed foods. So 1.
And like that's the thing, like she was saying, you can't make it at home. It's because it's like you have to sit out here and be a full-on chemist to learn how to make an apple pie. Like, we as Americans are always going to be contributing to like the highest obesity rates if we keep going on like this. Like, it was a good thing that I had heard about, them taking out, you know, Red 40 from foods and stuff like that. But it's like they're just going to replace it with something even worse. And I just feel like it's never going to get better. It's like they want to keep making us obese and fat from like our childbirth. And like I feel like it's not fair to all these kids who have to do this because like we'll get addicted to stuff that we don't even know has crazy side effects, or it's like taking a medicine or a drug. Like it may be good to you right now, but it's always going to have that side effect, and that's like a crazy thing that shouldn't be happening.
Unprocessed or minimally processed foods. This group is pretty self-explanatory. Apples belong to group 1. These are your whole foods with nothing added. This level includes all fresh, dry, and frozen fruits and vegetables, grains, meat, eggs, milk, fish, nuts, and seeds. Group 2 refers to processed culinary ingredients such as salt, sugar, butter, honey, olive oil, or spices. Now, group 3 refers to processed foods. The term processing just means that a food has undergone a change from its natural state. This level includes canned food, cured meats, wine, cheese, fresh bread. To use our apple example, applesauce, canned apples, or prepackaged apples preserved with lemon juice. So in group 3, we usually have a food product that's made up of almost all just real food. It can be
And like that's why applesauce is the goat of all goats. I always will eat a nice thing of like cinnamon applesauce. And real ones know about that pumpkin spice applesauce in like the little cups. So good. Best applesauce flavor I've ever had.
baked or boiled or preserved or canned or fermented or mixed with other foods. So it's important to note that processing itself is not bad. It's when you take things too far. And group 4, ultra processed food, is the definition of too far. So here is the definition given for group 4. Ultra processed foods are formulations of ingredients, mostly of exclusive
Right, like it's a
industrial
formula.
use, typically created by a series of industrial techniques and processes. So instead of food, it's industrial ingredients that have been created through a series of industrial techniques. See what I'm saying? This is the problem. There's just not a lot of normal ass food in ultra processed food. And group 4 is where we find our
It's almost like I had this science teacher at my school. So she would basically say that, like, I was asking her, did she like to teach chemistry or earth science more? But she was saying earth science teaches you about the earth, and like chemistry teaches you how to basically kill the earth. And like thinking about it this way of how these foods are made, basically using chemistry, is basically moving us closer and closer to extinction. We're going to be like dodo birds in the next few years. Like we're going to be dead. Like aliens probably will never come to our planet because they're like, that's like a dangerous place to be at because they could wipe their whole society if they were to have even looked at this place once or twice. But I don't know. I just feel like we need to do a lot better. Like we need to wipe the slate clean and just eat normal, healthier foods, or foods that are at least a little bit better for you, because I feel like that's the right way to go.
McDonald's apple pie. See, a homemade apple pie is only a level 3 food because yeah, it's got sugar and fat and whatever else, but it's really just a combination of regular old processed ingredients you can find in any normal home or grocery store. A McDonald's apple pie, on the other hand, is a group 4 ultra processed food because it's made up of a ton of industrial ingredients created by a series of industrial techniques. And if we take a closer look at the ingredients of the apple pie, many of them are quite industrial sounding, which clues us into the fact that they must have been created through processes similar to pre-digesting, as mentioned in our article. Basic food crops such as corn, wheat, and potatoes are disassembled into their molecular parts, starchy flours, protein isolates, fats, and oils, or what manufacturers
Like, that's
call
disgusting.
slurries. The bulk of what is extracted is starch slurry, a milky mixture of starch and water, but we've also extracted proteins and fibers, according to a video explanation of the process from Starch Europe. Roughly half of the starch slurry goes to produce starch-based sugars and other derivatives. Those are created by hydrolysis, a process similar to human digestion. Next, with the help of artificial colorings, flavorings, and glue-like emulsifiers, those slurries are then heated, pounded, shaped, or extruded into any food a manufacturer can dream up. So food manufacturers rip real foods apart down to the molecule, turn them into slurries of starches and sugars and whatever else, then combine these slurries and powders with oils and emulsifiers, and from there they could remodel them to seem exactly like the normal foods we know and love. Take potato chips, for example. When they were invented, they were just really thin slices of potatoes that were fried and then served. If you have an air fryer, you could easily make potato chips at
And you know, yeah, that is a very good point. Basically, when foods were back in the older times and when they were first made and stuff like that, it would always be basically like, you know, basic cooking techniques and everything. It'd be basic. It wouldn't be nothing crazy. They would just cut something, maybe dip it in a little bit of oil, a little salt on top. But now we're taking it even farther than putting oil on stuff. And honestly, oil is no good for you either, but it's a lot better than all these ultra processed things, because the ultra processes, like we said, are basically chemistry. I'd rather not have my apple pie start out like a piece of like a milkshake, like a chunky milkshake. Then they make it into my apple pie. I'd rather have, some oily chips or some salt on them than that. I don't know. Because like that, it's just like we're tainting our world.
Home with just 3 ingredients: a potato, oil, and salt. But let's compare that to a Pringle. A plain Pringle contains dried potatoes, vegetable oil, corn flour, cornstarch, rice flour, sugars, maltodextrin, mono and diglycerides, salt, citric acid, and wheat starch. I actually thought that was gonna be way worse than that, but this is a plain Pringle, so none of the seasoning is on it. But let's investigate further. So to start, dried potatoes are likely not just whole ground potatoes, but an incredibly fine potato flake that's extracted in a similar process to what the article has been discussing. Then we have vegetable oil, which, have you ever wondered exactly what vegetables go into vegetable oil? The packaging on this one shows tomatoes, celery,
Apparently
carrots,
none.
and spinach. But I was curious what exactly qualified as vegetable oil, so I looked up the USDA definition of it. So here are the requirements. It says that vegetable oil refers to any refined, bleached, filtered, and deodorized oil, and can consist of any one or a combination of the following: canola, corn, cottonseed, olive, safflower, soybean, sesame, and sunflower. Yeah, let's name a product vegetable oil and put vegetables on the container that contains little to no actual vegetables. And refining, bleaching, and deodorizing definitely all qualify as industrial processes. Moving on, next we have corn flour, cornstarch, rice flour, sugars, maltodextrin, and wheat starch. So at least 3 of these are these pre-digested slurries we just learned about. So they turn those things into a paste, and then to bind them all together, they add in the mono and diglycerides, which are a type of oil emulsifier, which is again created through a sort of pre-digestion hydrolysis process as well. Stick everything together and shape it up into a perfectly stackable potato, corn, rice, sugar, wheat chip, and the end result is something that
And that's kind of why I don't like Pringles, because like they don't taste like chips. Like they just taste like chalk. Like the only good Pringle, in my opinion, is the barbecue ones, and that one is just like perfect. But like every other Pringle is just so nasty. Like I don't get it. It just tastes so off.
technically has components of real food, but is nothing like any real food you've ever seen. And again, the insane thing here is a potato chip really only needs 3 ingredients. But somehow, with ultra processing, something so simple is turned into a frankenfood with the sole purpose of maximizing profits. And see, with the Pringle, it's junk food, right? So you're not exactly expecting it to win a prize for the most wholesome ingredients. But the problem with ultra processed food is they are everything now. Much like the regurgitated food mother birds feed their babies in the nest, ultra-processed food is quick and easy to digest, according to experts, but that's not how the human digestive system was meant to work. When food moves through the digestive system in ways Mother Nature didn't intend, the body loses the ability to send a signal of fullness to the brain, said Dr. David Katz, a specialist in preventative and lifestyle medicine.
Called it. I knew it. I knew it. There's no way for these atomized foods to become satiating for the human appetite. It's basically the thing that makes you want it more and more and more and more. And there's nothing you can do about it because they don't want you to. So you're basically cooked.
Your body is expecting to have to break down the nutrients in the food. So when this process is already partially completed, it's no wonder that people are so hungry. It's no wonder that people are overeating. It's no wonder that the obesity rate has been skyrocketing since at least the 80s, around the time that ultra-processed food entered the food supply in an unprecedented way. And it's not just that this food is making us hungry, it's that this food is making us crave.
It's so thin, crispy, and cheesy. And I just want to keep eating it. and eating it.
Because when something is digested quickly, it's not just hitting your body quickly, it's hitting your brain quickly as well. And in the world of addiction, there is this important concept of rate of delivery. The faster the drug hits your brain, the higher you get and the more addictive the substance is. Add in just the right ratio
Crazy how we have to compare our foods to drugs nowadays. Like, crazy.
of sugar, salt, and fat designed to tickle our taste buds, and an ultra-processed food that's nearly irresistible is born, said Dr. Chris Van Tuliken, author of Ultra-Processed People. It could be a pizza if you put some cheese and tomato on top. It could be a burger bun. It could be a grain bar, a breakfast cereal, an ice cream, or confectionery. They all have the same list of basic starting ingredients, he said. It's an illusion of food. It's much cheaper for food companies to destroy real foods, turn them into molecules, and then reassemble those to make anything they want. And that is the problem right there. We are all eating edible food-like products. These foods are products first and foremost. The only thing that they're designed to nourish is a healthy profit margin. And you see, the real problem is
See, that's why that McDonald's dude was sitting there biting it like, what a good product.
isn't that ultra-processed foods like Pringles exist at all. The problem is, what happens when the entire grocery store is made up of foods that barely qualify as food? And most people have no idea that this is true. Most people have no idea that they are being tricked. Like some sort of virus, the ultra-processed food category has grown to take over the entire grocery store. Foods that you'd never expect to be ultra-processed junk food products are. You know, it's one thing if people were knowingly buying junk food, right? It's another thing to be purchasing a yogurt cup for your kids that promises you that it's wholesome only for it to be nutritionally compared.
Man, those Trix yogurts are so good, but then like you look on the back of one of those things and you just tell that like, or look and like just see it's not. Like they're good, but like they're not good at the same time, like at least for your body. Like you're gonna feel all happy and everything, gonna be doing your little shaky dance, shaky, shaky, keep on shaking, keep on shaking. You got some rolls coming in, you get more jiggle. Can't shake anymore. I'm bedridden. It's very depressing.
Comparable to an ice cream cone. And not an ice cream cone made of cream and sugar, but an ice cream cone made of modified milk ingredients, gums, and emulsifiers.
Apparently, this ice cream is so fake that they can't even call it ice cream. It's called a frozen dessert instead.
Nearly every food product we consume now is designed to be unsatisfying. Let's think about the grocery store. Obviously, we have our junk food, our honey buns and Debbie cakes and Cheetos and candy.
Oh my goodness, a good honey bun, bro. I love honey buns. I love honey buns. Oh my goodness. Like that is like a I can't eat them like that because of stuff like this, but like I love honey buns.
And whatever else. But then we also have most breads. And not just Wonder Bread. These are all ultra processed too. Nearly all cereals, including probably 98% of the healthy cereals. Most frozen dinners, yes, including most of the healthy seeming ones. Nearly every and any food directly marketed to children. Any non-dairy milk, most plant-based foods, and like 95% of everything in the health and diet food aisle, including protein bars. Estimates say 73.
Oh, well, so the thing is, everybody already knew protein bars are ultra processed. Like, everyone already knew that part. Like we like you can bite into those things and they taste like a bar of chalk. Like those things are no good. We already knew they were ultra processed, but it's not about that. It's about the gains.
3% of the food supply in the United States is made up of ultra processed foods. Eating ultra processed food is
That's close to our obesity rates.
The norm for us now, and we're still in the really early stages of figuring out exactly what that's doing to us. 20 healthy volunteers were locked away from the outside world for 1 month. For 2 weeks, they ate only ultra-processed foods. For the remaining 2 weeks, they ate a diet made
They're basically reliving the life of a Reddit mod, locked in the house for 1 month. They are in there for a lot longer than 1 month though.
up of minimally processed foods. Each diet contained the exact same quantity of calories, sugars, fiber, fat, salt, and carbohydrates. The only difference was that one diet consisted only of foods that were ultra processed. In 2 weeks, participants on the ultra processed diet gained an average of 2 pounds, 0.9 kilograms. On the minimally processed diet, they lost the equivalent amount of weight. Now, obviously, 2 pounds in 2 weeks is nothing crazy, but think about what that might do to you over the weeks or months or years of just consuming the normal diet that most people consume in society. This is the norm. On top of that, what makes the study so interesting is that these diets were matched for composition. So the participants eating the ultra-processed food were eating the same amount of protein, calories, sugars, etc. as the group eating the minimally processed fresh meals. And yet the ultra-processed food group were still hungrier. They were still eating more calories. Science is really starting to reveal that it's not the lack of fiber, it's not additional sugar, it's the ultra processed foods themselves that are the problem. There's something seriously strange about the way our bodies are processing these ultra processed foods. They seem to be dysregulating the checks and balances our bodies have to keep us from gaining excessive amounts of weight. And this is just the tip of the iceberg because it's not just about weight, it's about overall health and metabolic health and more. It's funny, as you scroll down through this article, all the related links to other ultra-processed food articles are so bad. Study finds growing evidence of link between ultra-processed food and cancer. Artificially sweetened ultra-processed foods linked to depression in women, study finds. Ultra-processed foods now account for 2/3 of calories in the diets of children and teens. By fracking food much like we frack oil, we have fully deconstructed the food matrix, and this is associated with many times higher risk of chronic disease and early.
And if you think about it, all of these problems and like all these problems with our food can all equate up to one main issue: corporate greed. Because if none of us were, oh man, I need some more money, this, money, money, money. If these guys didn't just want money and want to fill their pockets rather than like crush our population as a whole, we would be eating whole foods. We wouldn't be looking for cheaper ways to just get something else on the shelf, you know? It wouldn't be this difficult. But like, it's just whenever greed takes over, it's just hard for some people to let it go and hard for them to not want to make a cheaper option so they can make more money, or a cheaper option so they can keep building their empires, their companies, their franchises. Like, it's a big thing about money. And like, if you really think about it, it's almost never gonna stop because it's what keeps our world rolling. Like, our world is just built on it, especially our country. Our country is built on capitalism, and this stuff is just gonna keep happening over and over and over and over again, and it's crazy.
Mortality and a degradation of global health. Before the Second World War, before we began using these new manufacturing processes, we never observed such a high level of chronic disease worldwide. So the question is,
like, what even is this? Like, this is what a protein shake ends up looking like. I hate protein shakes. The only type of protein shake that I actually take is those Fairlife ultra filtered milk ones. Like, any ultra filtered milk protein shake, I love those. But this is what a protein shake would look like. Those ones you blend up, put some whey protein in. These things are terrible. They taste disgusting and look exactly like this.
which degree of processing remains compatible with human food system sustainability and global health? At this point, it's becoming extremely hard to ignore how broken our food system is. And that's probably a good thing because things need to change and they need to change now. The only reason that these foods are being broken down and broken down so aggressively is because it's highly profitable. When you cook something yourself normally using fresh ingredients, the quality of those ingredients really kind of has a major impact on the final flavor of the dish.
And like, you can really taste the difference when you eat something real versus something fake, because like, today I had, what's it called? It was like this bowl from a place called Clean Eats. They usually use all whole foods and stuff like that. So it was lean chicken breast, broccoli, and some brown rice with a little bit of teriyaki sauce on top. And then I ate the bowl and I felt like I didn't want to eat anything else at all. But then I go to like Chick-fil-A and I get a 12-count grilled nugget and then a bowl of chicken noodle soup. I eat all of that. I eat the nuggets quickly because those just go down. That's like nothing. And then I eat the soup and like, I'm full, but like, I'm not full. I'm like I'm a little bit below satisfied. Like the thing is, I guess like I'm nearly there, but like the food is not as whole, so it's not as fulfilling, not as satiating, you know.
Dish. It makes or breaks it, essentially. And if you had food companies competing over the quality of their ingredients, they wouldn't make any money. You want a delicious tomato sauce, you can sell the most pizza? Well, then you've got to let the tomato ripen on the vine a little longer. You have to care for the soil and fortify it. You have to spend a little money on fresh herbs. Got to care about the quality of the olive oil in the sauce. All of these steps, they take time and they take money, and competing on quality is not the game these guys are trying to play. They'd much rather squeeze every last drop out of the cheapest tomato they can find and then just inject a bland tomato paste with tomato and herb flavor
What
and
kind of
MSG
pizzas
and
are
sugar,
these?
so your brain still enjoys the final product, but you just can't put your finger on why. But that fast rate of delivery and all the other modifications they make to the sensory properties of the food to tickle your dopamine receptors stop you from ever realizing that these foods actually taste just as disappointing as you'd expect them to. Well, most of them. Anyway, some of them, they did do a good job. Let's be real.
No, like some of these things are actually delicious. Like that's the hard part. It's like you know it's bad, but like you just want to eat one more, and it's like that's how they want us to be. Like they don't care if we know that it's bad because we're all gonna fall back on it a little bit, a little bit. But yeah.
I find knowing this stuff really does fuel the desire to just keep getting healthier and healthier and healthier. So I hope it had the same effect on you. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Oh, that was a good video. She has really good. She like did all her research. Kiana Doherty or Doherty. God, I almost said Doherty. That wouldn't have been good. But yeah. Honestly, that video was a big eye opener. I've seen a lot of that stuff happen before, and like a lot of stuff about it, about ultra processed foods and things like that. But oh my goodness, it is crazy, man. But yeah, YouTube, say happy, say peace, love God. Sub up. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.